Well, let's start with Robert Aaron Long, the 21-year-old who's been charged with killing 8 people in Atlanta. 6 of them are women of Asian descent. Now, the Georgia Sheriff's captain has said this about what was going on with Robert Aaron Long.
I spoke with investigators, they interviewed him this morning, and they got that impression that yes, he understood the gravity of it, and he was pretty much fed up and kind of at the end of his rope, and yesterday was a really bad day for him, and this is what he did.
So basically, people are upset that he said he was just having a really bad day, and that's why he did that. It kind of belittled what actually happened. People were killed.
What else?
8 people died.
What else?
It's so funny how all this comes to what looks to be a misinterpretation. Like you got to understand, did the guy say he was having a bad day, or did the cop say he thought the guy was having a bad day? Which is just, I mean, there's a vast ocean of difference between those two statements.
The context suggests the guy himself was saying
said
that he had
yes,
a bad day, and that he was at the end of his rope. Yes,
right, and that the police are just relaying that message because they're asking, what his motivation was.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Crack ass cop had to say.
Well,
whoa! What did we miss? Back that up a little bit here. Let's see.
At the end of his rope, and yesterday was a really bad day for him, and this is what he did.
So basically, people are upset that he said he was just having a really bad day, and that's why he did that. It kind of belittled what actually happened.
Did he actually say he was just having a really bad day? I forgot. I didn't hear that. Or he was having a bad day. Because I could see why they would trying to see if he was defending the guy. He was saying, "Oh, he's just having a really bad day."
No, the whole context.
He understood.
They asked him a question like, "What did he say? What was his motivation?" So he's telling them,
right?
Yeah.
And he was pretty much fed up and kind of at the end of his rope, and yesterday was a really bad day for him, and
yeah, he didn't say just.
Yeah, it's a really bad, like a statement of fact. Like, yeah, it was a really bad day for him with his addiction to sex, his mental illness. You have bad days, and when you have mental illness, you can have bad days. That's right.
But the actual shooter said it was a really bad day for me. That's
right,
basically what he said.
Yeah, but you caught that adding the word "just having a bad day" changes the interpretation.
Oh yeah.
Completely.
Right. It does. It absolutely does.
Right.
This is what he did.
So basically, people are upset that he said he was just having a really bad day, and that's why he did that.
No, lie.
Yeah.
Liar.
It kind of belittled what actually happened. People were killed.
What else?
8 people died.
What else that crack cop had to say?
What did he say? What did he say?
What else
What
did
else
that
does
cracker ass cop
have to say?
Oh,
okay. I heard it twice. I couldn't understand what he said.
Well, yeah, that's what he said about, he had a bad day.
Man,
Man, he's so triggered. He's so triggered by this.
He's very triggered. Well, look, I'd be triggered too if I thought that I lived in a society where everyone was racist against me.
Totally.
The law enforcement was
right.
super racist against me. And when the racist law enforcement found a mass shooter that they were in favor of, they made justifications for it. Sure. But
Yeah,
the problem
I
is
would
that none of
totally
that's even remotely true.
So much of this shit is just miscommunication. Just completely miscommunication.
Way worse than having a bad day.
F Captain J. Baker. Okay, F that dude in his bad day. I hate how the media spins things for white people. At what point are white people in these positions of power going to hold their own accountable and call them what they are? It's the same thing with the Capitol raid on January 6th. That guy, Robert Long, is a domestic terrorist, a member of Vanilla ISIS. And police always find a way to take these guys in peace.
So
Vanilla ISIS?
There was, I remember
That's
this
pretty good.
happening too.
The Vanilla
we were
ISIS
talking about,
like...
we were talking about the terrorist stuff too. And it's really stupid because I think the legal or whatever law enforcement definition that they use for terrorist is that the person has to be engaged in some activity to inspire fear in a specific group of people for ethnic or political motivations. And that if that person's doesn't fit that category, then they're not technically classified as a terrorist. And so there's always times in these mass shootings where they're like, oh, well, this fighting over whether they should actually be labeled a terrorist or not. And they just want it to be labeled terrorist because the person is white. And they feel like the police are giving some sort of special place, some sort of special deference to white shooters, which is totally nonsense and doesn't happen whatsoever.
In their eyes, if the guy is white, it must be racially motivated.
Right. Hey,
it's funny to me that he points out the media spinning these stories for white people as if they're spinning them to give white people a break, when the media is spinning them for white people, but they're spinning them into like a racialized narrative for white people.
Are white supremacist evil, blah, 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 blah.
Robert Aaron Long had a sex addiction, and that's why he attacked these people. They're saying that it was not ethnicity that came into play, and it wasn't anti-Asian violence necessarily, but they're still investigating. By the way, sex is still a hate crime category under Georgia's new law. So if he was targeting women out of hatred for them or blaming them for his own problems, it could still potentially be a hate crime. It doesn't have to be racially motivated to constitute a hate crime in Georgia. It could be because they're women.
They're reaching so hard to make excuses for this guy that these excuses don't even make no sense. A sex addiction, so I'm attracted to you, so I'm going.
Did he just listen to anything she just said?
No.
Okay, whatever you said, I'm going to continue with my moral grandstanding.
Well, listen, the explanation he gives for why this doesn't make sense is like wow, what like very limited thinking is going on here. Very shallow thinking. Yes,
she even said this. It would be the same thing. It's still a hate crime under sex addiction. So what excuse exactly is being made here?
What's the point of calling it a hate crime? Just it's harsher
punishment? Just a virtue signal.
A virtue signal. I mean, you'd think all crimes were, I don't know, hate crimes, maybe.
Well, and I mean, I'd even make the argument. If someone has a sex addiction and they go to a place that they frequent, that people perform sex acts on them for money, and they kill those people, is that they're not targeting them specifically because they're women. Anyway, so it's not even a misogynistic. Well, I guess it could be misogynist, but it's not a hate crime. I wouldn't classify it as a hate crime towards women.
Yeah, I guess hate crime they classify as racially motivated. So,
well, no, but I'm saying I would assume a hate crime targeted towards women would be you saying, "Oh, I want to kill women for X reason," not I want to kill these people because I can't stop having sex with them or going to them for sex. I think that's a very different concept.
Right. For this guy, that these excuses don't even make no sense. A sex addiction, so I'm attracted to you, so I'm going to kill you. I thought
after
sex
his
addiction
arrest,
do you want to have sex?
After his arrest, Robert.
I know he doesn't understand the whole.
What did you say? Hold on.
They didn't give him any of the context though, so give him a little bit of a break here.
I don't think he knows what sex addiction is.
Well, no, he said if.
Why do I want to fuck you and I want to kill you? I don't get it.
How does that make any sense? And okay, you're right. He didn't have the context, but that's still your fault. If you don't have, this is the elephant in the right.
I know.
He didn't have anywhere near enough
context. Yeah, exactly.
The information he needed to come up with some statement or opinion, and yet he's already jumping all over the place saying, "Oh, the cop's racist. This is, the media is racist," and they're making up a bullshit explanation that makes no sense. And it's like, well, you didn't even hear the explanation, so you didn't even understand it to make this judgment call. And it's funny because in this clip, it seems like the other two people are like kind of realizing that what he's saying is stupid. Like they seem kind of uncomfortable about it.
Long also told investigators he was headed to Florida and was planning to do more acts there as well.
Come on, man.
Sounds like he had mental problems.
I'm sure.
Sounds like he had mental problems.
You think so, huh?
Oh my God! Now he's empathizing with him. Please.
This guy's the best guy on this cast here.
He's like, wait a minute.
Questions and stuff.
Tell me more information. Oh, it sounds like this guy's crazy, right? Let's not jump to these racialized conclusions. Thank you, DJ.
Yeah, who is this?
DJ Envy. What a cool name.
DJ
Envy.
Awesome name.
I'm envious.
Yeah, the God should envy DJ Envy here for having some sanity.
Porn, and he seen on a porn site that he thought was bad for him, and he tried to eliminate it all. Seems like.
By the way,
look, he instantly realizes
there's sanity.
He just concludes that what actually happened here, as far as we know. Also, I wouldn't recommend Beats for headsets, for headphones. I just for them, not for this nature. They're good for like a heavy bass music, as far as I know. But unless they improved, I don't know. But anyway,
there you go.
Like he had mental to find out he didn't take his medicine or something. Problem. Sounds like he watched porn and
it sounds like he had a bad day on his mental illness. That's what it sounds like.
Let's let him get through this. This guy is the first guy that's actually making any sense. Let's let him. Let's let him finish.
You don't get to speak.
He's seen someone on
Florida and was planning to do more acts there as well.
Come on, man.
Sounds like he had mental problems.
I'm sure.
Sounds like he had mental problems. Sounds like he watched porn and he seen someone on a porn site that he thought was bad for him, and he tried to eliminate it all. Seems like he had mental problems. You'll find out he didn't take his medicine or something.
I'm sure he did, but guess what? There's no turning back from this. 8 people are dead. So you have to deal with the consequences of your actions. All right? You got to go to prison.
It was actually long.
Yeah, but the thing
no one's saying that. Obviously, give him the electric chair. Jesus Christ!
There's this annoying thing that I've seen this too when I'm talking to people about like a mass shooter, and you say, "Oh, they're crazy." They think like that you saying they're crazy or have mental problems is you trying to remove responsibility away from their actions. And I'm like, that's not what I'm saying at all.
It's saying the motivation and where the mindset is. Like, are they actually racially motivated, or are they just crazy that where it's not actually coming from a place of racial hatred or anything? Then they're crazy, and it's from some other mentally disturbed motivation. Right. And this guy is just hopping into. I like how he switched trains really quickly there. From this guy's obviously a racist, and all these white people just running defense, and goes to from that to. It's still a tragedy, by the way. It's still a tragedy. Never mind that my whole argument from before and my whole grandstanding was just blown out of the water.
Right.
It's still a tragedy. You can't. Just stop defending the guy. Stop defending the guy.
Well, that's what I thought was interesting about this clip. Is it really shows the dangers of being so quick to jump to your preconceived notions, and then you instantly find out like, oh, they're all wrong, completely wrong.
Yeah.
Long's family, there are images of him after the first shooting at one of the.
Back from this, 8 people are dead. So you have to deal with the consequences of your actions. All right? You got to go to prison.
It was actually Long's family that saw images of him after the first shooting at one of the first spas. They contacted authorities and helped identify him. So they said the family members are very distraught, but they were very helpful in this apprehension.
You can treat him.
Those terrible white people turning their own family.
Bigoted family members, yes.
Hey, hold on, what did you say before? Like, how come all these white people don't hold their own accountable?
Yeah, exactly.
How embarrassing.
His own family turned him in. That's
I'm pretty
right.
sure at this point, every time this Angela Yee lady talks, she's like, no, stop talking. Stop talking. Every time you say something, you destroy my argument.
Yeah, you're ruining everything I said in the opening. Why are you doing to me here?
Let me get through the story before you interject with your very not thought out opinion on this topic. Yes,
exactly.
Him for all his health issues in prison.
Authorities and helped identify him. So they said the family members are very distraught, but they were very helpful in this apprehension.
You can treat him for all his mental health issues in prison. Okay?
Sure.
Right?
Now, Long did spend time in rehab for sexual addiction last year, according to a former roommate. The roommate spoke on condition of anonymity. He said he lived with Long for several months, and
it just won't stop. You can treat him for his mental illness and addiction in prison. Actually, where he went to rehab and he was actually being treated for his mental illness. It didn't work so well.
Yeah.
Like, stop talking. Stop talking. You're making me look stupid here.
in summer of 2020 at a transition house for people exiting rehab.
I need to know more about this, not because of Robert Long, but sexual addiction makes you kill people? I thought sexual addiction just made you, like, want to have sex all the time and cheat.
Well,
they're leaving the religious aspect. Oh, maybe she chimes in now with the religious aspect of it.
He was the one that was going to massage parlors. He was going there explicitly to engage in sex acts, according to reports. And according to what he had been saying, he had relapsed and was going back again after rehab.
It's just amazing how the police officer, Captain J. Baker, can just stand up there and say, well, he had a bad day.
He's gone back.
Really? You just going to go circle around?
My God.
Gone back.
You're going to delete the past few minutes and just go back to the beginning.
That's right.
Such high hopes.
Go back
hopes
to the beginning.
Dashed.
Like when I first started talking, I was like my best part. Like this is the best part where I was in the right. I was more the grandstanding, and then my argument started slowly getting destroyed. He began to shovel on some more information on us. I want to go back to that part. Where I
thought we were beating up on the skinhead cop. What's going on? Why are you turning this around on me?
Let's go back
Charlemagne, the God, just did a JoJo King Crimson, erase all the time that happened in between and went all the way back to the beginning of the segment. Yes.
Such a way he just did, yeah.
Yes.
How do you make excuses? Like, they reach so hard to make excuses for these sick white people.
Yeah, that's what the family was doing, making all kinds of excuses.
All kinds
Please
of excuses
don't arrest.
when they were turning him in.
Yeah. They say in the article, they were very helpful in apprehending him, right? All those excuses that they're making.
Instead of just holding them accountable and calling it what it is.
That family probably saved who knows how many more people. Jeez.
Yeah, exactly.
Domestic terrorism. 8 people were gunned down on our soil by this guy. Like, come on, that's terrorism.